Do you believe wholeheartedly that Jay-Z's father?
I really do. And if it's not, why you can't prove me wrong? Like, it's not as far as a proving me wrong thing. It's go to the courtroom and basically do what everybody else would have. I'm not pointing no fingers. I'm just asking everybody, all the judges or anybody who's working on the case, to do what's right and do their job the correct way, even if you overlook something or didn't see something. Everybody makes mistakes, as I said before, but you know, it's time to actually do your job and look at everything and get it correct.
Yeah. Are you scared for your life? It's unfortunate that you were shot at. I'm glad that you were okay from that. Do you think that was a situation where you were targeted? And if so, are you scared for your life?
No, I'm not scared for my life. I mean, it was a scary situation.
A federal judge ordered Jay-Z to take a paternity test, and within 48 hours, his alleged son's car got sprayed with bullets. Coincidence? Please. That was a message. Loud and clear. Stay silent or else. But this isn't just a street scare. We're talking a full-blown legal chess game, sealed court documents, and a billion-dollar image that could shatter with one mouth swab. Do you think Jay-Z is dodging a paternity test or burying something way bigger? Back in 1992, long before the Grammys and billion-dollar business deals, Jay-Z allegedly had a brief encounter with a young girl named Wanda, just 16 at the time. Known on the streets as Precious, Wanda claimed protection was used, but it didn't work. According to her, the condom broke, and the result? A pregnancy that would haunt her for life. Jay-Z? He ghosted. No calls, no visits, no Instagram receipts to trace him. She never saw him again. That's not just abandonment, that's erasure. And she was still just a teenager. Wanda gave birth while literally unconscious in a hospital bed. In her place, her then-boyfriend Robert Graves signed the birth certificate, knowing the child wasn't his. Why? According to close sources, it wasn't love, it was leverage. Signing gave Robert access to extra government benefits like food stamps. That's not a family, that's a transaction. And it's the start of a generational lie. At just 8 years old, Rymir was sat down by his mother, and everything changed. She looked him in the eyes and told him, "Jay-Z is your real father." He was still a kid, more into cartoons than courtrooms, but Wanda stayed consistent. She never changed her story, even when no one else believed her. She called him Sean Carter, long before he became the icon known as Jay-Z. The truth didn't evolve, it endured.
I was 7. My mom had to sit down with me. I guess she thought I was old enough to know now, and she been saying Sean Carter, that's what she was calling him at first before she was calling it Jay-Z, and I really didn't know who that was because I was young, and you know, had my little brother, and I really wasn't worrying about it. She was saying it a lot, but I really just was going along with the person I was just seeing, like the person I looked at who was taking care of me at that time. I really wasn't really trying to understand what my mom was talking about, but she constantly put it in my head like, son, it's not your father, and I really want you to know it is. This person is your father.
Wanda never once changed her story. For years, she pleaded with Jay-Z to take a simple paternity test. Privately, quietly, no headlines, no drama. He never responded. But Wanda didn't fold. She pushed through ghosted lawyers, court rejections, and judges who told her to stop wasting their time. They told her no. She told them, "Watch me." Knowing her time was running out, Wanda did the unthinkable. She filed a sworn affidavit naming Jay-Z as Rymir's father, hoping that paper would outlive her breath. She passed in 2019 from heart failure. Her final words to Rymir: "Keep pushing, the truth will come out." This wasn't about headlines, it was about legacy. By 2014, Rymir, now a man, picked up where his mother left off. He filed a civil paternity suit against Jay-Z, this time backed by his godmother and legal guardian Lily Coley. But here's where things go from sad to sinister. Jay-Z didn't act like a man defending the truth. He acted like someone protecting a vault. Instead of submitting DNA, Jay-Z's legal team allegedly built a labyrinth of delays, denials, and legal loopholes, all to avoid a swab in the mouth. That's it. One swab, one answer. Why dodge it, unless the truth is lethal? Rymir's team filed the case in New Jersey, where the alleged hookup happened and where Jay-Z supposedly owned property. But Jay-Z's side pulled a slick maneuver. They claimed he didn't live there. No ties, no jurisdiction, case dismissed. Here's the twist. Tax records, business docs, even property filings show he had assets there. He dodged it anyway. With paperwork. According to Lily, things got even darker. Wanda, still recovering from a coma, was approached in her hospital bed by Jay-Z's legal team. She was sedated, barely coherent, and they allegedly handed her legal documents. She signed. She had no idea what she'd just given away. That signature tipped the case, again, in Jay-Z's favor. And then came the ultimate betrayal. Lily claims Rymir's own legal team may have been working against them, from bizarre court filings to missed deadlines and deliberate errors. It started looking intentional. Your team's supposed to fight for you, not play for the other side. This wasn't just a mess, it was sabotage. Everywhere Rymir and Lily turned, the system slammed shut. Judges tossed cases, files got sealed, court clerks said wrong jurisdiction. Even the Supreme Court declined to help, not because Rymir was wrong, but because they said, it's not our place to intervene. That's a dead end disguised as protocol. Let's be honest, this was never just about a DNA test. If Jay-Z is declared the father, it's no longer a personal scandal. It's a legal bombshell, because Wanda was 16, and depending on the state, that could legally be statutory. Now you see the cover-up angle, right? Why fight this hard over a paternity claim if you're innocent? Why pay lawyers to stall instead of taking a test? Because one positive result doesn't just rewrite headlines, it rewrites a legacy.
We didn't have enough information to keep the case going, so it was a big case to me because, you know, I really wanted to find out who my father was, and for the case not to go how I was planning it, I really thought it was going to go different than what it was, but well, I really feel like it should have been over with because, you know, I feel like if it was anybody else, you know, like, I'm not saying this because people got higher standards or people make more money than that, but it's this different because, you know, if it was anybody else that made a low income, I feel like they would have had them in there way faster than people that's wealthy.
Rymir wanted one thing, to know who his father really was. But the court said they didn't have enough information to keep the case alive. Translation? If you're not famous or rich, good luck getting justice. He poured his hopes into that courtroom and left with nothing but silence. Rymir put it plainly, if I wasn't up against a billionaire, this would have been over already. He believes that if he were dealing with a regular man, not a global mogul, he would have had a paternity ruling years ago. Money doesn't just talk, it shuts doors. Things took a drastic turn. A federal judge finally stepped in, issuing a ruling that Jay-Z must answer the paternity lawsuit. But here's the crucial detail many overlooked. If Jay-Z doesn't respond, New Jersey law automatically assumes he's the father. That decision forced the case into a corner. No more dodging, no more delays. Jay-Z had two options: take the paternity test or be legally recognized as the father forever. And then, right after that court ruling on July 18th, things got even more intense. Just weeks after the judge's order, Rymir claimed someone opened fire on him in his own driveway. He was with others, yet somehow only his car was targeted.
Hit.
Here, are you scared for your life now? It's unfortunate that you were shot at, but glad that you were okay from that. Do you think that was a situation where you were targeted? And if so, are you scared for your life?
No, I'm not scared for my life. I mean, it was a scary situation. It was a scary situation, but you know, it's just unfortunate. You know, I'm from North Philadelphia. I'm not saying I got nothing, but I saw a gunshot. I heard gunshots and just saw crazy shit before. So, but it definitely was a scary situation because I never been through it. I barely come outside and I stay to myself. So it's like, you know.
Lily backed up the entire story during their interview on the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast, describing the incident as a clear act of retaliation for speaking out.
Public.
Somewhere in September, he was in the parking lot with other people near where he's at living now. And out of all the cars there, his was the only one shot up. So we believe that was a nexus or a connection, I believe, between the case and what's going on because it was around the time. In addition to that, we've had people come to my home in the past, driving on the grass. We have people knocking on the door at 4 o'clock in the morning. We've been through all of it, mostly around the filing time. So this is a bigger picture than this. We want to try to make a difference with the Pro Se Act or the Legal Abuse Act, bringing new legislation and trying to sit down at the table with the lawmakers to make a difference.
This wasn't the first time they felt their safety was at risk. Lily shared that she and Rymir had been harassed, followed, and threatened for years while pushing the case forward. As they got closer to forcing Jay-Z to take that DNA test, the intimidation only escalated. And then, things took a dramatic twist. According to Lily, they believe Beyonce may have been involved behind the scenes, almost like she was the one orchestrating everything.
People were saying that she's a big part of the problem for him, and some of the things that she was doing, a woman would not, she would have some sort of role in what her husband does. And if she was secure with herself and with the situation, not saying you gotta like it, she would help her husband handle it.
They believe Beyonce wanted to quietly shut down Rymir, not because she thought he was lying, but because she feared what the truth might do to their billion-dollar family image. Allegedly, she pushed to bury the case before it ever made it to the media. Even when Jay-Z's team briefly suggested signing Rymir to Roc Nation, Lily says Beyonce quickly squashed the offer. It vanished overnight. And then there's the infamous music jab. Jay-Z dropped the infamous line in Heard About Us, rapping, "Billie Jean in his prime for the 1000th time, the kid ain't mine." He jokingly said, "They call me dad." You're not supposed to take this dad thing literally. That's too famous. We don't really do famous. It wasn't just some random rumor. It was a direct dig at Rymir, who had been fighting for a DNA test for over 10 years. So, how did Rymir respond? He clapped back with his own track, firing back with lines like, "Ninjas wash up still doing tracks like 55, where the F you at? Need to go back to your old days, grown man in his old ways." But here's the thing. Rymir wasn't just dissing Jay-Z, he was taking back his voice. If Jay-Z could dismiss him in a high-stakes studio session, Rymir had every right to stand his ground. By now, Lily said they had everything documented. Timestamps, photos, damage reports, names, cars, and even drive-bys. They sat down with Tasha K, spoke to The Sun, and appeared on Hip Hop Uncensored because if they were silenced, at least their story wouldn't disappear. By this point, Rymir wasn't just fighting for a DNA test. He was up against an entire legal system more concerned with protecting Jay-Z's image than seeking justice. And the deeper you dig, the clearer it becomes. This was never a fair fight. Here's the kicker. 6 different judges were involved over the years, and somehow, none of them forced Jay-Z to take that paternity test. In 2023, Rymir and Lily filed a new lawsuit, this time targeting the New Jersey court system for fraud, obstruction, and civil rights violations. They weren't suing Jay-Z directly. They were going after the judges who allegedly conspired to protect him. Rymir made it clear in this video.
Everybody makes mistakes, as I said before, but it's time to actually do your job and look at everything and get it correct, because you cannot use fraud to continue anything in this world. You can't use fraud to help you get forward in life. Then try to continue on your fraud or continue using fraud to get forward in life, and the courts just let you do that. That's unconstitutional, and I think we should really be looking to fix that problem.
Now, after 14 years of battling legal fees, court filings, and emotional tolls, all Rymir is fighting for is one single answer. It's clear this case was deliberately sabotaged to protect Jay-Z's image and shield him from any public fallout.
It's crazy. It really is crazy. These judges, these lawyers, this fraud, collusion. Who knows what it's for, money or friendships or whatever they got going on. But I can honestly say that we should never go in the courtroom feeling like we're already the victims and we did nothing wrong. We did nothing wrong but come here, tell you guys the truth, put our life on the line.
Things took an even darker turn when Rymir requested the records from those early hearings be unsealed, but the Supreme Court turned him down. Not because he was wrong, but because they claimed they didn't have the jurisdiction to get involved. Here's the kicker. Under New Jersey law, if someone refuses a paternity test and there's enough supporting evidence, that person is automatically presumed to be the father. That means, by law, Jay-Z could have already been declared Rymir's father, but the court simply didn't enforce it. But here's the twist. There's another story that might explain why Jay-Z has fought so hard to keep all of this under wraps. Rumor has it, Rymir might not be Jay-Z's only secret child. For years, whispers have circulated about a secret daughter, older than Rymir, allegedly born from a separate fling in the early 90s. Unlike Rymir, she never went public, because allegedly, Jay-Z paid her to stay quiet. And the first person to expose this? None other than Wendy Williams, who was one of the first to call Jay-Z out on it.
Wendy Williams explained how Jay-Z has a secret baby by Free from 106 & Park. Now, we know Wendy Williams always kept us rolling with the tea, and Wendy Williams was the first person to expose that Jay-Z had a secret baby by Free. She explained how she was told that Jay-Z and 50 Cent were in the delivery room when Free had her baby. And we know that there have been rumors for years that Jay-Z had a secret baby by Free, and how she was allegedly paid off to keep quiet, and that's why she disappeared from 106 in Park and we've never heard from her again. And honestly, these rumors of Jay-Z having these secret babies back then were huge. There was like 5 different women back then that were rumored to have children with Jay-Z. And yes, when all of this was going on, he was with Beyonce.
Let's be real. If this case ever goes to trial, and Jay-Z's name gets dragged into court with accusations that he fathered a child with a minor in this post-star, Kelly era, it won't just be about paternity anymore. It'll be a full-blown PR disaster. After nearly 20 years of silence, sealed records, fake addresses, threats, and missed court dates, the clock is finally ticking. Jay-Z has until July 18th to respond to the federal judge's order. If he doesn't, he'll be legally assumed to be Rymir's father. This shifts everything because it reveals a troubling pattern. Deny the child, but pay to keep them quiet. If Jay-Z was allegedly willing to support a daughter in secrecy, why not Rymir? Why fight so hard to shut him down? The answer could come down to 2 things. Wanda was underage, and Rymir had the courage to speak out. Now, it may be too late to cover it all up. Rymir isn't after money. He said it repeatedly.
Just really coming out here for the truth. I don't want no money or anything. I wasn't looking for none of that. I just want to know the truth. And if I can't go to the courts and get the truth, like, what is it really? Why are you? What is it? I just really want it over. It's something that's really affecting my life.
But Lily's lawsuit is now taking things to the next level. They're no longer just asking for a DNA test. They're pushing for punitive damages, a complete unsealing of court records, an official jury trial, and even a criminal investigation into potential court collusion. This is no longer a mere civil case. It could spark more lawsuits, increased exposure, and even more hidden children coming forward. And if Beyonce really did play a role in keeping all of this under wraps, that's not just a mess. It's a full-blown brand crisis, one that impacts everything. Let's face it, the Carters are seasoned in handling scandals, but this is one they haven't been able to shut down. It's not just a rumor anymore. As of now, Rymir remains in limbo. He's determined to keep fighting, even if it takes the rest of his life.
You don't have to prove me wrong. I just want the truth. Honestly, I can take a no. I can take, if I'm embarrassed at the end of the day, I can take that. I really can. I've been through a lot. I've seen a lot. I can take me being embarrassed. I just can't take nobody not saying nothing.
Now, Rymir is at a crossroads. He has 2 options: take the test, or let that court order officially declare him the father forever. And if you think Rymir is the only one, hold on. Wait until you hear about the daughter Jay-Z's team allegedly bought a house for in Connecticut. This girl never filed a lawsuit, and she's never had to work a day in her life. You've seen the battle unfold. Now get ready to meet the one who stayed silent through it all.